This is a debit card, and you already know what it does. But did you know that not all debit cards are equal? In fact, some debit cards have perks that are as good as some credit cards and, of course, are capable of what credit cards can't really do, which apparently is pulling out cash and some other things. We all need a debit card, so today I have 4 of what I think are the best debit cards on the market, plus a special honorable mention at the end. I have broken them down by their uniqueness, and I've done some in-depth research so then you can have a more well-rounded idea about their perks and potential drawbacks. So let's get started. But first, let's take a quick moment to please like and subscribe. I would really love it if more people could watch my videos. Thanks in advance. So the first card on the list is the Discover Cashback Debit Card, and this one wins for all-around cashback benefits. And here's why. For one, you can start earning 1% cash back on up to $3,000 in debit card purchases each month, which is like getting $30 back or $360 back a year. So it is a bit rare to see any kind of benefits with debit cards, especially cashback benefits. And you can redeem the cashback by either manually transferring it into your checking, savings, or money market account with Discover, or you can enroll in auto redemption where Discover will automatically transfer the cashback into your preferred Discover account. Next, let's talk about the fees. So in order to get a debit card, you have to get a checking account. So there is basically no fees with the Discover checking account. There's no minimum balance or activity requirements, and no fees for insufficient funds. Sometimes banks will require you to make minimum deposits on a monthly basis or require you to keep a balance in your account, but with this Discover checking account, it doesn't have any of these requirements. It's pretty hassle-free. Next, let's talk about ATMs because somehow you need to pull out money with this debit card. So with the Discover debit card, you have access to over 60,000 no-fee ATMs in America. Most of them are at Allpoint or 7-Elevens, which are fairly easy to find. Next, let's talk about interest rate because you have that checking account. How much interest rate are you going to be getting? So we actually don't have much to speak about when it comes to Discover's checking account, but when we're talking about the savings account, it's pretty competitive as you can get up to 4.3% APY. So that gives you the flexibility to keep your cash somewhere while earning decent interest. Number 2 on the list is the Amex debit card, and this card wins for their points benefits to combine with Amex credit cards and also their high checking APY. So if you already have Amex credit cards, it might be a good idea to also get an Amex debit card. So you can earn 1 point for every $2 you spend in eligible debit card purchases. So you can use these points the same way as your normal Amex credit card points, where you can accumulate them and then redeem them for things like flights. That way, if you have both the Amex debit card and then Amex credit cards, you can easily accumulate and then funnel them into your account and then get great travel redemptions. And speaking of their checking account, you can earn 1% APY, which is 10 times higher than the national rate. It's pretty rare to get interest in a checking account, so it's pretty big that Amex has this. So if you need your cash to sit in this checking account, it's going to be a little bit better than if it were to sit in a different checking account. And talking about fees, this Amex checking account is pretty fee-free as you don't have any fees to open, no minimum deposit, and no monthly fees. Also, Amex has top-notch customer service, so if you have any issues with your card, they're there to help 24/7. Finally, talking about ATMs, so you can withdraw cash from over 30,000 ATMs in America with the Amex debit card, most of which are at MoneyPass ATMs, and I found those to be pretty easy to find as well. The third card on this list is the SoFi Debit Card, which wins for high APY and cashback benefits. SoFi Bank has been known for their high-yield savings account, which can get you up to 4.6% yield. That alone may make you think of opening an account with them. But the debit card has some perks as well, as you can get up to 15% cash back at qualifying local businesses. And I was looking at their site, and it seems like you do need to physically claim the cashback reward in the app. It's not something automatic. And SoFi Bank does have a welcome bonus, so you can get up to $300 when you open a checking account and set up a direct deposit of $5,000 in the first 30 days of opening the account. Or you can get a $50 welcome bonus if you deposit $1,000. I'll put the link in the description if you're interested. And I want to take a moment to say that when you open a SoFi account, you are getting both a checking and a savings account, which then comes with a debit card. So you cannot open a standalone account such as a single checking account, so that's good to keep in mind. And next, let's talk about the fees. So there's actually not many fees with SoFi, but they will charge you a fee if you make a cash deposit, which is like $5. And there is a catch to getting the high APY in their savings account. So in order to get the full 4.6% APY in the savings, you need to have a minimum deposit of $5,000 every 30 days in your account. If not, then you will only earn 1.2% APY, and that's basically the penalty. At least it's not in the form of fees, and there is no minimum balance requirements. And finally, let's talk about the ATMs. So you do get a variety of no-fee ATMs to withdraw cash from with the SoFi Debit Card. Most of them are at Allpoint ATMs. The fourth card on this list is the Schwab Debit Card, and this card wins for travel and top-notch convenience. So this is the Schwab Debit Card, and there's a few reasons why I put it on this list, and I do think that it is a competitive debit card to not overlook. Now this debit card, it doesn't have any cash back or points benefits to look at, so why else would I put it on this list? I put it here because of its national and global flexibility. So you can actually take this debit card to any ATM that accepts Visa or MasterCard, and you won't have to pay any fees to withdraw cash. So let's say you go to Japan and you need cash because the country doesn't accept credit cards as much as in America. Well, you're in luck because you can go to any ATM basically without a thought and get your money and you're good. By the way, when you withdraw cash from ATMs, you're going to be getting the best exchange rate, so you don't need to worry about that. Let me dig a bit deeper into how the whole withdrawing from ATMs looks like. Actually, what happens is when you use the debit card to withdraw cash from an ATM, the ATM will tell you that they will charge a fee, let's say $5. A few weeks later, after you got your money, Charles Schwab will deposit that $5 back into your account. So that's why I think this card is really competitive, because of all the cards that I mentioned above, they're pretty limited in terms of which ATMs you can use and how you can even use them to travel abroad, or you're just paying fees. Also, with the Charles Schwab checking account, there's not many fees as well. You don't need to worry about keeping a minimum balance in your account, and you don't need to make minimum monthly deposits. And as for interest in the checking account, it's not much to speak about. You do get a 0.45%, which is better than what Chase gives you, which is like 0.01%, so it's not too bad. Also, you can deposit checks by either using ATMs or you can use the Charles Schwab app. Finally, number 5, which is our honorable mention on this list, the Capital One Debit Card. This one wins for covering what the other cards don't have. So one major thing to mention about the above 4 debit cards on this list is making cash deposits isn't really a thing. Except for SoFi Bank, where you can make a cash deposit, but you have to pay a fee, you can't even do that with the other debit cards on this list. Which brings me to our honorable mention, the Capital One Debit Card. So you can make cash deposits with this card at a variety of fee-free ATMs, which includes Walgreens, Duane Reade CVS, Capital One banks, and Capital One cafes. You also have access to Allpoint and 7-Eleven ATMs, but you can't make cash deposits there. So even though this card doesn't have any kind of cash back or points perks, it is sometimes necessary to deposit cash somewhere. And while you can do that with other debit cards, let's say the Chase Bank or Bank of America, a lot of these banks require you to keep a minimum balance, and and I just don't want to keep $2,000 sitting somewhere. And speaking of, the Capital One 360 checking account has very little fees, so you don't need to keep a minimum balance on the account. There's no requirements on monthly deposits, there's no monthly fees, or even minimum opening deposits. But you do need to make some sort of deposit within the first 60 days of opening the account, or else they will close your account. And then interest rates aren't too bad either. So for the checking, you get a 0.1% APY, but for their savings account, you can get 4.35% APY. So what I can say is the best debit card really depends on you. And you don't have to stick to only one debit card. You can open multiple checking accounts if that's what suits you better. You can have the Schwab Debit Card for travel, and then you can have the Amex Debit Card to make points on your purchases. Whatever works for you. So let me know, did I miss any debit cards, or do you have any thoughts about the cards that I mentioned above? Thank you so much for watching, and again, please subscribe and give this video a like, and I'll see you in another video. Bye!